Sheesh and Amar Singh join in with our top trades of the day. Right. Amar, what's the trade on the Nifty and on Bank Nifty as well?
Yeah, overall, looking at Nifty, the trend definitely remains positive. We've definitely witnessed some profit booking and selling pressure coming in the range of 10,890, 900 levels, and also the earlier top of 10,929. That should act as an immediate resistance. So that's what we are witnessing in the markets. And technically, Nifty continues to remain positive. So any pullback can be used as a buying opportunity. The crucial level of support for Nifty in the short term is seen at 10,700 to 720. So that's a very strong support for Nifty on the downside. As far as Bank Nifty is concerned, technically Bank Nifty is in a weaker spot as compared to Nifty. So Bank Nifty again is seen in a range. The range is 26,750, 800 on the upside, and on the downside 26,350, 400. So it's in a narrow range, I would say. So one should either wait for the range breakout to take a position.
Right, Amar, in that case, what would be your top picks for the day?
Among the top picks, I have one from the pharma space. If you look at Walkart, what we are seeing is on the daily charts, there is a very strong and positive structure. And looking at the weekly charts, the stock is in oversold territory. So clearly reflecting that there is some buying interest which is happening. And also if I look at the long-term charts, that also is displaying positive bias. And what we've seen in the pharma space across the board, we've seen a significant rally. If you look at the Nifty Pharma Index, that also has rallied by more than 10% from almost 8,200 to in excess of 9,000. So clearly reflecting that there is some buying interest which is there. So Walkart is one stock one can look at. Any pullback can be used as a buying opportunity with a stop loss below 698 and a target of 748 on the upside. And the second stock that I would recommend is United Breweries. United Brewery, if you look at this particular stock, it is extremely strong across various time frames, be it the daily charts or the long-term charts. And the structure continues to remain strong and firm. And also what we are witnessing is that any pullback is being used as a buying opportunity, and there appears to be a lot of buying interest. So any pullback in the stock towards 1270, 1275, that can be a very good buying opportunity with a stop loss of 1233 and a target of 1345 in the short term.
Amar, as we're gearing up this morning, do you want to take our viewers through your top picks for the day?
Yeah, I would say apart from Walkart and United Breweries, which I mentioned, is another stock one can look at is again Strides Sashun. What we are seeing in Strides is that if you look at this particular stock, the stock has been a free fall, and from almost 1200 levels, it's corrected to 350 odd levels. So, and technically it's looking positive on the short-term charts, and also there is some bullish divergence technically on the chart. So any pullback can be used as a buying opportunity. Somewhere around 360 can be a good level to buy with a stop loss below 345 and a target of 388 on the upside.
Right. So, Amar, now the question will be that on Reliance, again, we've talked about those stocks, but Reliance Industries, yesterday, some good pullback from the lower levels. Again, a dollar sort of beneficiary. It appears perhaps that dollar pocket again is performing well in the market at present. So, Reliance Industries and second stock, what would be your opinion on the stocks like HUL, Marico, Colgate? If there is anything, any long formation which you are seeing, because there has, Marico again is outperforming continuously, but again, those are consolidating.
Yeah, looking at, first I'll talk about Reliance. What we are witnessing in Reliance is that Reliance definitely is in a very strong uptrend. Technically looking at the charts, be it the monthly charts or the short-term charts, the stock has again rallied by more than 10%, almost roughly 11% from the recent lows of 9,000 odd levels. So, and technically it is strong on the chart, so any pullback should be used as a buying opportunity. The key crucial resistance level for Reliance to watch out is 1010, 1020. If that is taken out, then it's really headed higher towards 1080, 1100 levels. So Reliance continues to be extremely strong on the charts. So any pullback should be used as a buying opportunity. Talking about the other stocks which you mentioned, I would say first I'll talk about Marico. What we are seeing in Marico again is Marico also has a similar chart structure as I talked about Reliance, because this stock is also extremely strong on the long-term charts, and on the short-term charts it was consolidating, because if you look at the stock, it was trading in a range of 320 and 300, and it was unable to reach that level, but trading above that level, and currently trading around 337 odd levels. So yes, it continues to be strong, but again what's likely to happen is that higher levels are meeting with some selling pressure and profit booking. So I would say 345, 350, that's a level of key resistance for Marico, where we'll witness profit booking, as well as those who would like to go short, they might go short, but definitely the trend, long-term trend remains positive, as well as the short-term trend remains positive. What is slightly of concern in Marico is that the intermediate-term trend is showing some signs of weakness.
Amar, coming back to you, now it looks like very clearly the bias is into pharma and IT today. In Medcap IT, if there is anything which you like for today's trading?
Yeah, I would say that looking at the pharma index first, if you look at the pharma index, it's been on a continuous last 4 years, when it made a high in December 2015 from almost 14,020, and then it went all the way down to 7,900. So there's a lot of buying interest which was coming in the pharma space, and technically also that was being captured across the major stocks. They were trying to form bottoms, but it was very difficult. But yes, overall the bottoms have been formed, and it seems that the bottoms are likely to be held. Now, looking at the stocks, I would say one of the stock I talked about, Strides, also is one stock one can look at. Though it continues to be weak on the weekly charts as well as the long-term charts, but it has a very strong support somewhere around 360, 365. That's a very strong support zone, and also it's been witnessing bullish divergence on the charts. But what one needs to remember in the pharma space is that if you look at the long-term charts, if I'll just look at Sun Pharma for that matter. If I look at the long-term charts, what I'm seeing is that long-term charts is going to meet with very strong resistance, higher levels towards 580, 600 for Sun Pharma. So that's a level where we'll witness profit booking in Sun Pharma. That's almost roughly 7-8% from the current levels. But that reflects that there is still higher levels will witness selling pressure and profit booking, and also it would not be very easy for the pharma stocks to rally after post that, because the rally has been sharp. If you look at Sun Pharma from almost 430 odd levels, it's rallied significantly. It's more than almost a 20% in excess of rally. So there has to be some cooling, and that's the level which I see for Sun Pharma.
Right, so that's the sort of main take here. Again, don't get carried away by a one-way street which is happening in pharma stocks. So, Amar, what would be your take on Ajanta Pharma? The last hour we saw long position addition happening in Ajanta Pharma. Today again is 1% up, 3% addition in the open interest. And also, if there's anything in terms of trade which you have spotted.
Yeah, looking at Ajanta Pharma again, it's more or less in line with the pharma space. And technically, it's if you look at the long-term trend, that still remains negative. But what we are witnessing is that in the short-term and the medium-term, short-term definitely, I would say there's been bullish divergence on the charts, and it's found very strong support around 900 odd levels, and from there it's rallied to currently trade around 1060, 65 odd levels. But towards the higher side, Ajanta Pharma would meet with very strong resistance somewhere in the region of 1100, means 1090, 1100. That could be a level where it will witness selling pressure as well as profit booking, and from there we could see some pullback in the stock. And as far as any specific stock opportunity is, Tata Elxsi is one stock which one can look at, because looking at Tata Elxsi, what we are seeing is that it continues to hold firm, and technically on the charts, with the short term or the long term, the trend remains strong and positive. But the current levels, I would not suggest any pullback towards 1250, 1260 odd levels. That would be ideal level to initiate long, with a stop loss below 1220 and a target of 1325, 1330 on the upside.
Ashish is getting very excited about.
Amar, let me ask you this one question here, and that one question would be on TCS and Reliance Industries. We had asked earlier, so again that is a follow moving coming here. Can you actually initiate long positions at the current prices for the trading for today purpose here?
Yeah, looking at Reliance first, Reliance definitely remains extremely strong, which I've said, is extremely strong on the chart. So any pullback should be used as a buying opportunity. Looking at the levels, ideally a buying opportunity somewhere in the region of 990, 990. That could be a good level to buy, 990 to 995, because it's currently around 1011 levels. So one can look at buying around those levels with a. If you look at the stop loss needs to be below, I would say, 980, and the target on the upside could be 1035. Now, talking about TCS, what we are seeing in TCS is that TCS has been consolidating, and 1830 on the upside, because that's a key level of resistance. It's been trying to reach that level, but it's not been able to take out. But yes, TCS continues to be very strongly supported on the downside as well. Technically, looking at the chart, somewhere in the region of 1790, 1795, that's a very strong resistance support for TCS. So I would say that it's trading in a range, or rather one should wait for a range breakout and then enter into TCS.
Right, so that's the take. Right, and my last question to you would be Mindtree and Granules. How are these stocks looking to you? Granules, another solid move, good open interest build up, and Mindtree, we just talked about NIT Tech and KPIT, and now suddenly Mindtree has started to see open interest addition, the stock is moving higher. So are these two trades looking good enough for entry points here?
I would say, looking at Mindtree first, what we're seeing in Mindtree is that Mindtree has been consolidating consistently between, if you look at it, from 960 on the downside, 950, 960, but on the upside also it's unable to breach the 1040 level. And if you look at the stock on the daily charts, it's been in consolidation since almost start of May. So May and half of June, it's been in a consolidation phase. So clearly, one can look at buying around support levels and booking profits. So the support level to watch out, or entry level good level, is somewhere around 980 with a stop loss below 970 and 1030 on the upside. Looking about Granules, what we see in Granules in particular is that Granules, we are seeing some upside move, but on the weekly chart, somewhere or the other, it is going to meet with some selling pressure in the range of I would say 90-92. So that's a level where it could meet with some selling pressure and also profit booking coming in, because the medium term as well as the long term trend remains still extremely negative. But what's happening in the pharma stocks, in majority of them, except I would say Dr. Reddy's or Sun Pharma, where the structure is also different. In these stocks, we are seeing them in oversold territory for quite some time. So there's a pullback, and also whether this pullback is going to sustain, that's something which we need to watch out for. So ideally, those who are long in Granules, they should look at booking profits around current levels, or maybe around 90-91.
Right. Thanks, Amar, Ashish and Arun, for joining us this morning. That's the word coming in on the street. The day once again belongs to pharma and IT, and that's pretty much what the leadership of the market says. The Nifty as well as turned